All right, it's time for some football. It's a big division showdown this weekend for the Dallas Cowboys as they host longtime rival Washington while trying to rebound from that last-second loss to the Panthers. Joining me with a preview, as he does each week, is Locked On Cowboys podcast host Landon McCool. Good morning, Landon. Thanks for being here.
Good morning.
All right, let's start with an injury report. Could there be some good news for the Cowboys? Are they getting CeeDee Lamb back?
Yeah, usually this is a pretty depressing segment we do each week, right? But this week, you're actually getting some positive news. It looks like CeeDee Lamb is going to be good to go. Not only able to play, but it sounds like he's going to be unrestricted. The talk was that he was actually potentially ready to play last week, but they decided to hold him out one more week just to make sure he was 100%. So he should be good to go without restriction. It sounds like Tyler Booker will also be back this week. He made his way back into practice this week without restrictions and was out not wearing a boot or a brace or anything. So it sounds like he should be good to be back. And then, of course, the explosive return man, Kevontae Turpin, who they've been missing the last few weeks, it sounds like he also will be making it back. So for the first time in a little while, it feels like we got some positive news from this injury report.
All right, we love to hear that, especially on a Friday. All right, let's talk about fellow receiver George Pickens, who has been on a tear. Touchdowns in 5 straight games, but will we see that hot streak continue if CeeDee comes back?
Yeah, it's interesting to see here. They got CeeDee coming back, but I think George took this time to really kind of grab the brass ring and show that he could be functioning as the wide receiver one during the time that CeeDee's gone. And I think he's just taken the time to kind of get more comfortable with the offense in general. And Schottenheimer talked about it, and Clayton Adams as well yesterday, their ability to move Pickens around while CeeDee was gone and kind of have him function in that CeeDee role. I think it's going to open things up for when CeeDee comes back as well. They're not going to just feel like they have to hold him out there on the outside as the X receiver. They can move both of them around, create some interesting matchups. So I expect to see CeeDee maybe not producing 160 yards and 2 touchdowns each week like he was when CeeDee was gone, but certainly maybe a step up from his role before when CeeDee was still here early in the season.
All right, we started with, the good news. We do have to talk about the defense, which has been a bit of a mess for Dallas. Do you anticipate they're trying anything new, or what is going on?
Yeah, I think the truth of the matter is that there's only so much you can change mid-season, right? Like you have what's available to what's been installed in your defense. You can change the mixture of man and zone coverage if you want. You can blitz a little bit more or a little bit less. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's not like they're putting in a new playbook. So really, the changes are going to need to be made in improvement in personnel, and whether that's young players getting better with more snaps or potential for a trade before the trade deadline on November 4th. I think the improvement is going to be only maybe 5 or 10% by different changes in scheme. Everything else is going to have to be done by improvement in personnel, whether that's growth internally or going to get somebody.
Let's talk about another bright spot for the Cowboys right now. Quarterback Dak Prescott, been on fire recently. Lots of early MVP talk, but can he really carry this team? Is it enough? And can he keep going, especially when, the defense is struggling so much?
Yeah, it's an incredibly high bar that they've placed on Dak right now. He has to score basically 30-plus points a game to feel comfortable that his team can win. And the crazy thing is that for the most part, Dak has risen to this bar in a lot of cases. They've really, really played well, even when they were missing 4/5 of their offensive line. Even when, as we mentioned, CeeDee Lamb wasn't out there, Dak was still able to orchestrate what has been basically the number one NFL offense in the NFL for the last few weeks. So I think you get CeeDee Lamb back and you have the knowledge of the fact that the defense is probably not going to help you too much. And I think you just have to go pedal to the metal and let Dak do his thing and throw touchdowns, not kick field goals.
All right, last question for you, not to put on too much pressure, but what is your prediction? Do you think the Cowboys can bounce back with a win?
The injury report is interesting here because even though Dallas is getting healthier, Washington appears to be losing maybe both of their starting wide receivers. We'll see how that plays out. And if Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel don't play, I think it really takes a lot of the teeth out of this Washington offense. They're still an incredibly good run team, so the Cowboys are going to have to figure this out. I think that the Cowboys can win this game, even if Washington may be in a better spot right now as far as talent. So I'm going to pick the Cowboys to win maybe by a field goal late, maybe in the opposite of what the Panthers game was, let's say 30-27.
All right, fingers crossed. Landon McCool getting us ready for Sunday. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, y'all, do not miss new episodes of Landon and his podcast daily. Plus, we've got today's episode of Locked On Cowboys coming up at 1 p.m. today on our streaming app, WFAA Plus. And of course, don't miss our call-in show Monday to share your thoughts on the Cowboys and Commanders. That's at 11:30 right here on WFAA.